Castle Neuschwanstein. Facts. Foundation 1869. Built on the ruins of two medieval castles, Vor der Hohenschwangau and Hinter Hohenschwangau, near the town of Füssen, South Bavaria. The construction was initiated and financed by Ludwig II, King of Bavaria. Never completely finished, because Ludwig was deposed in 1886, then probably killed. Maintained by the Bavarian Department of State-owned Palaces, Gardens and Lakes. Ludwig II, Otto Frederick Wilhelm, 1845 to 1886, King of Bavaria, 1864 to 1886. Son of Crown Prince Maximilian and Crown Princess Marie. Ludwig built several fantastic castles, such as Neuschwanstein, Herrenchiemsee, and Linderhof, which later brought him the nickname, the Fairy Tale King. The reclusive king piled up a huge amount of debt to finance his construction projects. That is one reason why he was deposed by his own government in the end, by declaring him insane. In 1886, Ludwig died in mysterious circumstances, after apparently drowning in Lake Starnberg. Running hot and cold water. The Rumford stove, a grill whose circular movement automatically adjusts to the heat of the coal. A cupboard for heating plates, a fish tank made of granite, and a refrigerator. The highly modern kitchen was used from 1884 to 1886, even though the king only spent 172 days in the castle during this period. In the Holy Grail legend, several traditions come together. It's a mixture of Celtic, Christian, and Oriental sagas and myths. All written records describe the Holy Grail as a miraculous vessel in the shape of a bowl, a goblet, or a stone. It is said to offer felicity, eternal youth, and endless food. According to the Christian interpretation, it's a bowl with which Christ's blood was collected during his crucifixion. In his conservatory in the heart of Munich, Ludwig kept several exotic animals, such as a talking parrot. This story is proven by Princess Maria de la Paz, who was welcomed by this parrot on the 11th of May, 1883. He briskly said, "Good evening," after the king's death. The parrot disappeared, and his whereabouts remain unclear. By listening to the phonograph records of Ludwig's parrot, we are able to identify the following sentence. Past the Eiffel Tower, over the Thames, past the windmills, over the King's Gate, and back to Neuschwanstein. Is this something like a code? In 1869, the king decided to build an air wagon in order to fly over the Alpsy Sea. The technician of the Royal Court Theatre, Frederick Brandt, was ordered to construct this gas-powered vehicle according to the king's plans. Alternatively, he wanted to tension a wire rope 1,240 meters above the ground from Hohenschwangau to Sperbersau to at least simulate a flight inside a gondola. Today, a golden statue on Munich's airport shows the fairy tale king with the model aircraft in his hand. In 1878, the king ordered the first Bavarian electric power station to be built in Castle Linderhof. 24 highly modern dynamos supplied the Blue Grotto with electricity. Furthermore, the king's moonlit sleigh had a battery underneath the seat, from which the electricity for the Edison carbon filament lamp came, the world's first electrically illuminated vehicle. Ludwig built the original Blue Grotto into the rock in 1875 in Castle Linderhof. Inside there was an artificial dripstone cave and lake with electric wave machine. The Königssitz, or also Christossitz, formed the center of the grotto. Whenever the king wasn't being rowed across the lake in a golden swan, he sat on a subterrestrial throne and had a clear view of an erotic monumental painting with a Venus motif. The term ultramontanism defines a political stance of Catholicism. Its followers take their orders exclusively from the Vatican or papal court. According to rumours, a secret and very radical splinter group exists, which is entirely subjected to the Holy See. Their task is to fight against any modern and anti-papal vein in society by all means. It's said they have requisitioned diverse artifacts and relics for the church. The modern Google men were probably formed in 1998 on the occasion of the 113th anniversary of the death of King Ludwig II. They are rooted in the tradition of the Coalition, a secret society that was founded by Ludwig II. They believe in the murder of the king by the former Prussian Secret Service and defend the honor of the dead king also in other areas. They wear black frocks and pointed hats, the Google. In 1868, the Vienna court was informed that photography had become the king's passion. In Hohenschwangau and on Castleberg, the king had installed a well-equipped photo laboratory and darkroom. Each present from the king also contained a signed photo of him, so that it can be claimed that King Ludwig II invented the autograph card. Unfortunately, many of the photographs disappeared after his death. The royal Bavarian fisherman, Jacob Liddell, was the only witness who could have seen the king's death. Apparently, his silence was bought with a lot of money. This is a possible explanation for him becoming a rich man after the king's death. He stuck to his vow of silence, but wrote a booklet containing the truth about the events that was supposed to be buried with him. Even today, there are different opinions of whether the booklet did go to the grave with Liddell, or that it is kept somewhere else. Ludwig II loved theatre and enjoyed being surrounded by actors and authors. But since he deeply disliked the other spectators and gawkers, he started hiring the entire hall so as to enjoy the plays all by himself. In Munich alone, 44 operas, 154 plays, and 11 ballet performances were staged just for the king. Already as a 16-year-old, Ludwig II listened to Tannhäuser and called Wagner his God and Redeemer. In 1864, he sent a golden ring with a red ruby to the indebted Wagner in Stuttgart, and on the 4th of May of the same year, the king and Wagner met face to face in a residence in Munich for the first time. This was the start of a long friendship and mutual admiration. It was King Ludwig II who drove Wagner to write and compose Parzival. The Boonweinstück, as Wagner called it, tells the legend of the Grail Knights and ends with the fortuitous Parzival becoming the new Grail King and the Grail Knights rendering homage to him. In November 1880, Ludwig II attended a private performance of the orchestra's prelude. Wagner himself wanted his creation to have an enchanting effect on him. Ludwig II identified with the Parzival from Wagner's work, and Wagner also saw the young king as an innocent Grail searcher. Even though Neuschwanstein was a highlight in Ludwig's construction work, he was planning on building an incomparable Grail castle on top of the ruins of Falkenstein. This is where the Holy Grail was supposed to find its final resting place if it was ever discovered. In 1867, a romance between Ludwig II and the court actress Lilla von Meyering developed. The opinions about the seriousness of this romance differ, but it's been passed on that von Meyering already saw herself as the Bavarian Pompadour and the next wife of the king. When she let intimate details of their relationship leak out to the public, Ludwig reacted angrily and wrote this to his secretary on the 27th of November 1867. "The recently so impertinent Meyering shall go to hell." This was the end of the affair as far as the king was concerned, but obviously not to Lilla and her family.